76ers real quick. We touched on the Knicks. We hit the Lakers last week. You know another team that was right there on the cusp that a lot of people really didn't give too much love to. I don't know if they did or not, but I wanted to touch on them today, and that's the Sacramento Kings. Sacramento Kings, and then we'll go to the champions. Sacramento Kings roster and what they grabbed up, and if they grabbed up any guys, and what do you think they're going to do? Now, this is just their roster, period. Okay, it's not something that they went out and did or anything, but the way that the Kings, the couple of clips that I've seen with them, the Kings and everything in the playoff, I think they were right there, man. They were so close, man, so close to pushing the next level, getting to the next level. I'm not sure. I'm gonna be keep it real. I'm not sure what they need to get them over the hump, but I wanted to see what I want to see what you had to say about the Kings and in particular, or whoever you wanted to talk about. I just
You
want to
know
talk
the
about the Kings.
you know the t- I mean, the Kings are one of those, younger teams that have made a run. Now, the
Yeah.
thing about it is they have a good coach. I'm gonna say this, but I'm so happy for Mike Brown that he was able to bounce back because
Hmm.
and this is not a LeBron James slander, talking point. But a lot of those guys that coach LeBron and they don't make it, like you don't hear from them anymore. Like we don't hear from David Blatt. We're not going to hear from Darvin Ham most likely anymore. So for Mike Brown to get back and be able to cultivate a team, a young team and things like that. So I'm happy. I'm happy for Mike Brown that he was able to bounce back. But I do think the Kings are going to be a good team.
Hmm.
Next year the West is open because you got Golden State. They've gone down, and it's interesting because I think for the first time probably since what the 80s,
Hmm.
the East may actually be stronger than the West.
Mm.
I mean, am I off? Like, don't we have to go back to like the 80s? The Pistons, the Knicks, the Bulls, like that's when like the East was strong. Like, and right now, like the West is. I mean, you got Denver returning. Dallas is still gonna be formidable, but as of right now, like that stronghold that the West had, like that stranglehold the West had on the NBA, like
Hmm.
I don't see that stranglehold there moving forward. I think the East is, getting loaded, and I think it does open the door for a team like the Sacramento Kings to, what I mean, to improve.
Yeah. Yeah, because they young and they dangerous. So talk about these Mavs real quick. I mean, we touched on them before, but they just picked up one of the Splash Brothers and Clay Thompson and all that out of NBA free agency, man. I like that pick from them, man. I like that pick because Kyrie did not show up in the playoffs as much as I thought he was. And that's on me because I hyped him up here on the channel and I
You
said
did, you
that
did,
he was going to show out, and I thought he was going to turn into something different. So
you
he
did.
didn't. He didn't. So and they
You
need they
said
needed
that.
a guard play. They needed some strong guard play, whether it was from point guard or whether it was from shooting guard. They needed somebody to make some knockdown shots. Now, as much as everybody said Clay may not have, I think Clay still has something in the tank. I think he's one of the greatest shooters, man, right now, man. I mean, we can't knock and say it was the Splash Brothers. It wasn't just one, it was two. It was Clay Thompson and it was Steph Curry. Them
Steph Curry.
two were knocking ish down. Period. Point blank. Those two was going in. And Clay Thompson, I believe he still got some in the tank. I don't know what he may be going through off the court, but I think he's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder and he's going to have something to prove. I mean, look, and I like the pick. They spaced the floor out a little bit. And all he got, he's that team is set up right for what Clay can do right. And I think that was one of the teams. I obviously thought the Lakers might get Clay. I think that would have been another good potential landing spot for Clay Thompson and the way that he plays, the setup shooter, the setup 3-point shooter. And he could do the same thing over there with the Mavericks. And I think it may even be open even more. I mean, because what Luca's gonna draw 2, 3 guys. You're gonna and when he drives, Kyrie wasn't able to capitalize on a mismatch or with the one-on-ones as much as I thought he was, and especially when it came to championship basketball. But I think you can't affect somebody like Klay Thompson with that. I mean, he's a face ace when it comes to being it. You can be in his face, hand up, whatever. I hope he has a bounce back season. And I'm saying this because I believe in what Klay Thompson can do. And I think he still got some gas in the tank. This is what I'm saying that based off of, but also just with his skill set and with the team and the way that the team's game plan is, the way that they run the floor. And he's definitely set up for that. So what you thinking about that?
I mean, like you said, I mean that was one of the things that you know we talked about last week about Clay.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't not necessarily has, and he does. And the thing about it, he doesn't have to go to Dallas to be a starter.
Right.
He can be a
Ooh,
bench player. Come off the bench,
I like that.
be in that that fourth quarter. Hey, we trying to put the game away, line up, something like that. So I think that's a good spot for him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You got, like I say, Luca's gonna facilitate, what he needs to facilitate. So I do think that's a good spot for him to, to go to. So
Mm-hmm.
I like
Okay.
it.
All right. So let's talk about Tobias Harris going over to
The
Detroit,
Pistons,
the
yes.
Pistons. Tobias Harris going to the Pistons.
Hey man, Tim Hardaway Jr. went over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So uh,
Yeah,
Detroit didn't win but like 14 games this year.
yeah, they were trash. But I mean, but this we talking about Tobias and with defense. I like defensive guys, man. I think Tobias got a little D. I get excited about that little D. And plus, I believe
Yo, pause, my G. Hold up,
defense.
Bro,
Uh,
you said you get excited about
no
that little
diddly.
thing.
Hey, I ain't no diddler.
Yo,
No
bro,
diddly.
you
No
gotta
diddly.
chill. You gotta chill.
Yeah, you funny, guys. You funny, bro. You funny. You didn't leave me alone, bro. I ain't no diddy, no diddy. Hold on, let me. Boo-hoo.
Nah, bro, I'm gonna let you cook though. Nah, I'm gonna let you cook though. That's crazy though.
No diddly, no diddlers, no diddy, but no diddy. Um, dang, that came out like, hey, but look, anyhow,
Bro.
look, I like defensive players, man. I like defensive
Yeah.
players, on the basketball court, man. Tobias Harris provides that a little bit over there. Plus, my young guy, he gonna go off. He gonna go off. Help me with his name here, Shad. Come on, man. You know
Okay. Who Cade?
yeah. Come on, man.
Cade Cunningham? Okay, yeah, yeah,
Cunningham is the truth, man. I think. Look, he was in my top 5 point guards when we had our top five. When
Absolutely.
we named our top 5 point guards, that was just he's in my top. I think you had him in there too, if I'm not mistaken. Then did you have K? I don't know. Was he
Nah,
one of them
nah,
names that we both had out? I can't remember. It was
nah.
a while back, but y'all should go check out that episode. Go through the archives. We had a top NBA top 5 point guards, and K Cunningham, man, he he scores and he plays defense. And I think that's what they're trying to build. Obviously, you got to build defense. I mean, you losing too many games. I mean, you
He
got to
played with
play some
14
kind of
games.
defense on the floor. Um, and I like that pick going. I like those guys going over there. Tim Hardaway trying to help out a little bit, space the floor. And Tobias Harris, he may be going on the back half of his career, maybe, but just still nothing. It's not nothing to take slight there with him going over to Detroit. I think he helps him get a couple more games, but I still think that Detroit is in rebuild mode. They're still at the ground level. I think they're putting more bricks up there. They may be even have a shell of a house right now, but they don't have no drywall. They have no rooms. They have no floor plan right now. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. But they're getting there. Detroit is getting there, and it takes time to build. It's not an overnight thing. But Cade Cunningham is just going to keep getting better and better. And who knows what other moves they may make. I think they need to make some more moves. but they're not in no hurry, and I like that about Detroit. I like that about the Pistons and what they're doing over there. They're in no hurry, and the fans is cool with the way that things is going. I haven't, but I'm not a huge basketball guy neither, so I'm not really into seeing what the NBA fans are saying about the Pistons. But it seems like the fans are like they know how this is going. They know this where this can go. They know that it takes time to build. They're okay with that. That doesn't mean that they're settling for a mediocrity over there, because they're not. They're like, okay, we know this. It takes time to build a great thing, and when it happens, they're they're gonna have something. But right now, I just think they're just trying to patch some holes. That's all right now. We're grabbing a guy like Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway just right now, trying to see what they need moving forward in the future. Because like I said, with the lottery, NBA lottery, it is nowadays. You playing a number, but you don't know if it's gonna hit. So, well, and what you thinking about the Pistons though, man?
I mean, they got new management. I mean, they fired Monday.
Hmm.
After
Hmm.
giving him just an enormous contract. Got a new GM. Who people I think people think highly of him.
Hmm.
So he's in making moves right now. And the thing about it is Detroit is one of those cities that they're a sports town, right? They're a
Yeah,
sports town. They love
yeah,
sports. So I mean, you just got to think about it, man, from a historical standpoint, because the Pistons, they have titles, right? Not every they're one of the few NBA teams that has more than one title, more than
yeah.
two titles. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's not like they are one of those kind of what they call it fly by night type of deals. They have
Hmm.
a deep, rich history, and I'm sure that a person that's a diehard Pistons fan, like they have not been happy because like that was a meteoric rise and then a meteoric fall, you know, after the block. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So, well, the original block. You know what I'm saying? So, things have changed. So, but those are good moves. Tobias Harris,
I thought
just
so.
looked at, I had his numbers. Gave him 17 points last year. Tim Hardaway 14. So, I mean, and that's what they. And like I said, I listened to a show
Hmm.
out of Detroit. They covered the Pistons. That was one of the main things that they said that they needed. They needed more scoring on the court because they had too many guys that they couldn't score. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's good to
Right.
build around Cade Cunningham. I think they got a nice from what I heard, they went and got a young, athlete of sorts, with their first round draft pick. So I mean maybe they are moving in the right direction. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
like I say, it, the East is deep. The East
Yeah.
is deep.
Yeah.
So I
They
mean,
still got some
yeah,
time to get there, man. They still
yeah,
got some time to get there. Detroit still got some time to get there.
yeah.
Yes,
So
they do. Yes, they do, man. You know, do you think that the before we get on up out of here, is there any other team that you wanted to touch on, or
we,
any
I
other
mean,
free agency
well,
signings?
I had wrote
How
down
about
like
Chris
what.
Paul to the Spurs? We got to talk about the Spurs because that's South Coast. That's our man South Coast team. So we got to show. We got to talk about the Spurs. We got to, yeah, and let's try to be fair.
I mean,
Let's be
a- at
fair.
this at this point, like I don't think Chris Paul is the Chris Paul that went to OKC right now. Because
Yeah,
Chris Paul when he went to OKC, it's like, oh well, Chris Paul is over with. Then next thing you know, OKC is in the playoffs.
yeah,
But with going to Golden State, they're like Chris Paul is kind of transitioning to that point of like, okay, we're looking for you because of your basketball intellect, right? More so than your actual play on the court. And I think obviously his last ride was um who did he play for before he played for the Warriors? Who
the
was he
Warriors.
with?
Man,
Who was he
CP
with?
man, CP. Oh boy, that's a good question. Cause CP been everywhere, dog.
That's
CP
why I'm
been
saying that. I know he wasn't. I know it wasn't the Clippers because I know when he was with the Clippers. What I'm saying, I'm trying to figure out who was he with before he went to the Warriors.
Houston. Anyway, Houston.
I think he may have went over there. In any particular regard, I think that was the last. I think that was the no. That's what he was with. He was with the Suns. He was with
Okay.
Phoenix. He was with Phoenix. That's what it was, right?
Okay.
So, I don't know. Like I said, I think that was his last ride. I think, you know, maybe he could go down there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe this was like 4, 3. I ain't gonna say 4 or 5. Maybe this was 3 years ago. I would think this would be a huge move because obviously now you got an actual point guard, and now you can kind of use Wembanyama in some different, some different ways.
And he's
But
special.
I just don't see Chris Paul based on what transpired with the Warriors. I don't necessarily think that we're gonna see Chris Paul, playing 30, 28, 30 some odd minutes a night, being the point
Mm-hmm.
guard that the point guard as he calls himself. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think we're gonna see that. But on paper it looks good.
Yeah, that's one of the moves like that on paper. On paper, it looks good. But look, I must say this about the Spurs. The Spurs have a great head coach, the historic Hall of Fame head coach, Greg Popovich, right? CP going down there with Greg Pop. And what you said, that was a good point. I mean, his basketball intellect with Chris Paul down there with Greg Pop. Could CP be thinking about moving on the coaching? A lot of people they get to talking about his attitude and whatever else and who he can play with.
Yeah.
You hear that a lot, right? You know what I mean? How is his attitude going to affect the Spurs? I don't think it's going to affect too much. I think Greg Pop. Look. I know this is a reach. This is a reach. I'm just being honest, but he coming off the bench down there for him may not be a bad option. It may not be a bad option coming off the bench for CP down there in San Antonio. Now I don't know if they're gonna do that or not because they gave him 1 year, 11 million, but I think that's the lowest that you can pay him right now for how many years he's been in the league because he's gonna get his pension and all that, and he's a NBA veteran over the maximum years or whatever that it is, the threshold that holds, however that goes. But Wimbiana is special, man. He's
Yeah.
special. You hear me? That guy is just special. He's he like a KD on steroids, bro. He about to be going off. He when he get his stride, watch out. I don't even he, we about to see what's going on once what this year and how he reacts to the NBA this year. You know, it's his second year in. He been around. He know the speed of the guys. He know what to expect out of some of these players. Their weaknesses. He's learned their weaknesses and their strengths and everything. Because if you notice with his game, and I'm not much of a basketball guy, but I have picked up on this, right? You know, the first time he played guys, it was like okay, but he still was putting up points. The second time he did it again with just like that, just no, with no like no effort put towards it, did it again. So this next year he is going to be a force that the NBA it just can't deal with, bro. They like who who's going to guard him? Like I like now I know we probably said I said that about Zach Edey, but I really mean that about Victor Wembanyama. Who is going to guard this man? Nobody. Nobody can. I think 76ers, not the 76ers, but the 49ers slogan for Wimbiana. Nobody can. Nobody can guard this man. And he is special. So, but having CP down there, I think that, in my opinion, he should come off the bench. I don't know if Pop is going to do that, but Greg Popovich, I don't think is going to give him just a easy ride, so to speak, down there. But but I don't know. We expect that's what we expect out of Greg Pop, right? We expect Greg to Popovich to be on CP, and get the best out of his players and put them in the best predicament to win. And I think coming off the bench for him, providing, like you said, some of that mentorship to a young point guard down there and getting him ready for Wembyana and CP is going to know how to use them. People even picked on him throwing lobs to Wembyana. So what? You still ain't gonna be able to stop it. If it's working, why not do it? That's like when you when you plan like didn't you say this to me? I think you said this to me, right? one time. I don't know if you said it. Somebody when you playing a video game with somebody and you just keep hitting them with that same move and they get mad at you, but you beating everybody in the room with it. It don't even matter. You just
Don't
hitting them
even
with the
matter.
same move, but you keep
Same
winning.
move.
So
Yeah,
who wins? Who
yeah,
cares?
yeah.
Who
Nobody.
cares?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's the same move, but can you stop it? And I think that's just one of those things that may happen with Wimbiana. But I really like that guy, man. I'm a huge fan of Wimbiana for real. Like I like him. You know, my kids love him. Everybody, good guy so far. That I could tell. I can't see nothing but San Antonio got him one. I don't know who's gonna stop that guy, but CP going down there, I guess it is what it is. He's in his latter years of his career. He get to play with a NBA legend. That's just another something else to write on the resume. All right. Anybody else that you want to touch on from the NBA free agency, bro? Because I know you just got so many names down. There's so many up here. I'm just scrolling past guys, but I mean, there's
No,
so
I
many guys.
was no, I mean from a team perspective, it was
Mm-hmm.
interesting to see that the Celtics are they're staying
Mm.
intact. They didn't lose anybody, they didn't have any departures, they didn't pick anybody up. So they running it back.
They
You know what I
running it
mean?
back.
But they got that monkey out there back, and again, we know they have a nice roster, you know. So I
Yeah, they
think, and
do.
that's big. You know what I'm saying? That's big because similar
Mm-hmm.
to the NFL, once you win that chip, you have guys that are like, okay, well, let me go out here and let me go out here and test the market. Let me see, what my value is and
Mm-hmm.
what I can go out there and get. So seeing that the Celtics pick nobody up at this particular juncture and haven't lost anybody, and obviously just signed Jason Tatum to a massive deal, they're going all in. You know what I mean?
Man,
So
really
they
are.
they but again, like I say, the East is deep. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
say, the Sixers. I mean, and two of the guys that we didn't mention when we talked about the 76ers, they picked up Andrew Drummond and they
Mm-hmm.
went and got Eric Gordon.
Yeah, they
And
did.
so we know
They
Drummond
did.
is a
Mm-hmm.
rebounding maniac. You know what I mean? So like I
Mm-hmm.
said, the East is gonna be very interesting this particular year, and I think the East,
Because
at
that's
least
where
for
the
the
champs
next,
come from.
yeah, I think the East, at least for the next, because the Western guys, they're older now. Hey,
Yeah.
LeBron's older, AD's older, Clay, Steph, KD. You
The
know what I mean? Like the East
the
has
T
the
Wolves ain't though. The T Wolves is pretty.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wolves, they right.
But you know what? That's crazy because when you say that, I'm thinking about Karl Anthony Towns, but Karl Anthony Towns ain't that old. It's just that he's been in the league so long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And bro,
Which is dangerous because he got all that experience. Well, he was young when he came up. Young.
Karl Anthony Towns gonna be better than what he is, man.
Yeah, he is. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, he should. He should be. I thought he was gonna be a lot more dominant than what he is in the
But
game. But
but
he
But
go
no, not
ahead.
to cut you off, but they go back to what
Yeah.
we were talking about when we were talking about the Kings, about how the West is open. So you brought the
Mhm.
T Wolves, you got the Kings. You know what I'm saying? So you got the younger teams still, like I say, you still got the Nuggets there, but like
Yeah.
it's not clear
Yeah.
cut like it was.
Can't leave
Let's
Joker
just
out.
say let's just say 4 years ago. 4 years ago, it was like, oh well, we know this belongs to the Lakers and the Warriors. It's not like that anymore.
Yeah. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not. It's not like that. And especially when KD was with the Warriors, like, oh well, we already know who coming out the West. It don't even matter anymore. You know what
Because
I'm
when you
saying? But it's not
hmm
like that anymore.
it's
You know what I
not.
mean? So yeah, the
Hmm
West got the older guys now.
Gotta
Eh,
solidify themselves again.
Yeah, in the East got the youngsters, the go getters. The talent is going back over there. And somebody may disagree, but I do think the East is gonna be the stronger side of the NBA. At least for the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay. Okay. Joe Ingles went over to the Minnesota Timberwolves from Orlando from
Okay.
the Magic. Now that may not be a splash pickup for a lot of people, but being that small forward, you know what I mean, that may not be like something that's sexy to a lot of people. But look, they need some depth over there. I they Karl Anthony Towns, man. He probably I thought he would be a lot more dominant, but I think he did what he was
Bro.
supposed to do, man. I
Man.
I was upset. That hurt. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That got to me a little bit. Them not pushing it as far as they did, and they took out Denver. When they took out Denver, it was like, oh, it was almost clear cut dry. Like, oh, the Timberwolves coming out of the West. They done took out Joker and them. I would have liked to see the Nuggets and the Celtics run it back for all of what happened in the West this year, because that was just a horrible finals. I mean, it was like, no calm. Like, can we get some good games? But I think for real though, I think when you say the West is wide open, I disagree. And the only reason why I will say that is because you got to go through Denver in the West. Denver is the West. Denver. So you speak on the West, I will say Denver, Yoke in them, until you can beat Yoke in them, because they'll
Yeah,
probably be back there next year. You got it.
yeah,
They are the test to come out of the West. Period. Denver is. So Denver
yeah.
is the West to me. When you speaking out in basketball. So if you can go get through Denver, then you have a chance of winning a title. Okay. IMAX
I'm a,
said, my Heat
I'm
haven't done much, but I like what they done provided. And let me get that pulled up there. Go ahead. I'll let you take that question from IMAX.
They said my haven't done much, but I like what they done. Provided Rozier is and stays healthy as well as the rest of the team staying healthy, but Tyler Hero might need to elsewhere. Bro, you know what's so crazy about that? Like when Tyler Hero came on the scene, because they was doing a bubble, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, bro, he got him one, and it's like how
He
the
couldn't,
events
man.
have changed. Where it's like, bro, Tyler Hero's got like a liability now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like I said, the Heat, another team in the East that, hey, they'll go to the second or third. You know, they'll go to the second round of playoffs with you. And if you ain't looking, the Joker's wind up in the finals. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's what I said. But they just, I mean, again, like I say, it just strengthened. You know what I'm saying? It just strengthens some things. Um, but I'm gonna say this, bro. You brought up the Nuggets, bro, and like
Mm-hmm.
I said, I don't watch as much NBA basketball as I used to.
Right.
But the Nuggets game that I did watch, and I'm sitting up here watching the game, and I'm like, bro, and I had to stop myself because I'm like, well, bro, this is how they play all year. You know what I'm saying? It looks out of sync because you got Michael Porter, who's 6'10", 6'9", 16. You got
Mm-hmm.
um Aaron Gordon, 6'9", 6'10". It's like, bro, why y'all lined up on the perimeter taking all these jump shots? Like y'all are 6'9", 6'10". Like y'all have no post game.
Get in the paint, right?
Y'all have no put the ball on the floor and get to the basket. But I'm like, but I have to remember, like, bro, hey, this is how they made it this far. Like this is how they play.
Yeah.
But it's like when I'm looking at it because I'm not used to it, I'm like, bro, this is so out of whack. Like, bro, y'all are 6'9", 6'10". Y'all are supposed to be killing
That's cut.
people.
That's
Well,
because
I
they
don't think, I don't
go.
think I can say that on there. Y'all need to be unaliving people. You know what I'm saying? But bro,
For real, bro. You
but
right,
that's why.
bro.
But I'm just saying that again. That's prime example why I cannot watch basketball.
Man, because
Y'all are
Jokic, man,
six
he take two
nine.
steps from the 3-point line and he already be in the paint about to dunk. Literally. One, two. He be
Y'all
he
are
be
six
right.
nine, 6'10", and y'all are perimeter players. Like
I
bro,
think,
like what era of basketball are we in? Y'all are
man,
6'9", 6'10", and cannot post up.
no. Murray, they were saying Murray provides the pressure. He drives a lot. Jamal drives enough. And that's what they were saying too. They need to do that. But you remember, like you said, they got that way that far. Jokic, when he get the driving and putting the pressure on him, you gotta drop 2, 3 guys on him almost automatically. 2, 3 gotta go around him. And when he kick out, usually one of those guys are for sure hit from out there. Somebody's always on that Nuggets team. Somebody is always on. I don't you don't know. That's the crazy part about Denver. I don't know if y'all disagree or agree with this out there, but the crazy thing about the Denver Nuggets is that you don't know who's going to be on that game. We know that Joker going to get his. We know for sure Joker going to get his. You don't know who else is going to be. Is it going to be Murray? Is it going to be Porter? You know what I mean? You don't know who's that other person that's gonna step up that night to get those points. But it seem like they just rotate to get who's stepping up with Jokic, who's gonna step up, and they just got to be more consistent. But once they get that down, like I still think that it goes through them. It goes through
Yeah,
them, man. I
yeah,
still believe that though. I still
yeah.
believe it goes through them. But Wembanyama, he gonna give Joe. He is um he Batman. If you got your Joker out there, he got to be Batman in the black. Bro. He Batman. No, for real, he is, bro. Wembanyama Batman. I'm telling you, he's going to be Batman. They going like because he's quicker. He could dribble. I mean, I ain't saying that Joker can't dribble. He get a little bit bigger, man. He could do everything, man. Everything. Any move, and for him to be so big, like he's agile and he's not brittle, like he's not, and I don't know. He gonna be a problem, man. And it's a shame that I can't say that for the Lakers, but it's cool because they is getting older, and Anthony Davis just can't stay healthy, man. He
I mean,
cannot stay healthy for the
he
lifetime.
got a ring. So he got a ring. So
Yeah, they got one.
at this
I guess
point,
he got one,
I mean,
but
you just doing it for
like
bread now.
to me though, to me, it seemed like Anthony Davis was just so much better in New Orleans, man. And that's just to me. And maybe I could be wrong, and
I
maybe
don't,
I could be wrong.
I
But
don't
when
know,
I used to
man.
watch him with the Pelicans, man, he was going like it was just I don't know. It was different. It was just different. Like he was just unstoppable. It looked like on the court. But moving on, y'all, we're gonna move on to the